Good morning, children. Welcome to our history class. Today, I'm going to start a new lesson. The chapter name in the early cities. Okay. So now you have to take your textbook and open it and take this chapter. After that, watch this video carefully. Minimum 3 times you have to watch this video. And after that understand it, then open your textbook and take these portions and underline important points which were I discussed in the video. Okay, after that you have to do your works. So like this you have to go today onwards. First time watch this video 3 times. After that open your textbook and underline important points which I taken, and after that do your activities. All of you have to do your activities. Okay, so that is, so we can go to our class.
Archaeologists have found a set of unique objects in almost all these cities. Red pottery painted with designs in black, stone weights, seals, special beads, copper tools, and two-sided long stone blades. Houses, drains, and streets. Generally, houses were either one or two stories high with rooms built around a courtyard. Most houses had a separate bathing area and some had wells to supply water. Many of these cities had covered drains. Notice how carefully these were laid out in straight lines. Although you cannot see it, each drain had a gentle slope so that water could flow through it. Very often, drains in houses were connected to those on the streets, and smaller drains lead into bigger ones. As the drains were covered, inspection holes were provided at intervals to clean them. All three houses, drains, and streets were probably planned and built at the same time. Life in the city. A Harappan city was a very busy place. There were people who planned the construction of special buildings in the city. These were probably the rulers. It is likely that the rulers sent people to distant lands to get metal, precious stones, and other things that they wanted. They may have kept the most valuable objects, such as ornaments of gold and silver, or beautiful beads for themselves. And there were scribes, people who knew how to write, who helped prepare the seals, and perhaps wrote on other materials that have not survived. Besides, there were men and women, craftspersons, making all kinds of things, either in their own homes or in special workshops. People were traveling to distant lands or returning with raw materials. Many terracotta toys have been found, and children must have played with these. New crafts in the city. Let us look at some of the objects that were made and found in Harappan cities. Most of the things that have been found by archaeologists are made of stone, shell, and metal, including copper, bronze, gold, and silver. Copper and bronze were used to make tools, weapons, ornaments, and vessels. Gold and silver were used to make ornaments and vessels. Perhaps the most striking finds are those of beads, weights, and blades. Stone weights. Notice how carefully and preciously these weights are shaped. These were made up of chert, a kind of stone. These were probably used to weigh precious stone or metals. Beads. Many of these were made out of a beautiful red stone. The stone was cut, shaped, polished, and finally a hole was bored through the center so that a string could be passed through it. Embroidered cloth. A stone statue of an important man found from Mohenjo-daro shows him wearing an embroidered garment. The Harappans also made seals out of stone. These are generally rectangular and usually have an animal carved on them. The Harappans also made pots with beautiful black designs. Cotton was probably grown at Meherga from about 7,000 years ago. Actual pieces of cloth were found attached to the lid of silver vase and some copper objects at Mohenjo-daro. Archaeologists have also found spindle holes made up of terracotta and fans. These were used to spin thread. Many of the things that were produced were probably the work of specialists. A specialist is a person who is trained to do only one kind of work. For example, cutting stone or polishing beads or carving seals. Look at the picture and see how well the face is carved and how carefully the beard is shown. This must have been the work of an expert craft person. Not everybody could have been a specialist. We do not know whether only men were specialists or only women were specialists. Perhaps some women and men may have been specialists. Fanes. Unlike stone or shell that are found naturally, fanes is a material that is artificially produced. A gum was used to shape and sand or powdered quarters into an object. The objects were then glassed, resulting in a shiny, glassy surface. The colors of the glass were usually blue or sea green. Faience was used to make beads, bangles, and earrings and tiny vessels. In search of raw materials. Raw materials are substances that are either found naturally, such as wood or ores of metals, or produced by farmers or herders. These are then proceeded to produce finished goods. For example, cotton produced by farmers is a raw material that may be proceeded to make cloth, while some of the raw materials that the Harappans used were available locally, mainly items such as copper, tin, gold, silver, and precious stones had to be brought from distant places. The Harappans probably got copper from present day Rajasthan and even from Oman in West Asia. Tin, which was mixed with the copper to produce bronze, may have been brought from present day Afghanistan and Iran. Gold could have come all the way from present day Karnataka and precious stone from present day Gujarat, Iran, and Afghanistan. How were goods carried from one place to another? Look at the picture. It's a toy of a tail. This says that the Harappans were used wheels. These wheels connected to tails. These tails were connected to animals. So, like that, they are carrying goods from one place to another.
Okay, children. Now I'm going to wind up this video. So now the your times you have to take your textbook and open it and read it many times, and all the points which were we discussed that you have to underline your textbook. After that you can do your notebook works. So all of you have to do your works. Then only you can do very well. So please do the things regularly and send it to me very fastly. So you have to do now. You can go to your works and do the things. Okay, thank you to all. Do very well.